and it was Sarah and Jennifer were located in the car, deceased. Hey, family, and welcome back to another episode on our true crime series. So, today, you guys, we will be talking about the tragic incident that happened with the Hart family. This is so sad, you guys. And anything involving children, like, it pulls on my heartstrings so much because I don't understand how people can hurt children in any form or fashion. Like, they don't deserve any of this. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be, even when they're in foster care, to be in your care. Like, you're fostering these children to make a better space for them, and then for you to actually abuse them is mind blowing to me. So today, you guys, we are talking about Jennifer and Sarah Hart. Jennifer and Sarah met in college back in 2001, I believe. Anyway, they met back in college. At first, they were telling, family and friends that they were just really, really close friends. But they went on to get married, and that's when they came out, to everybody. So everybody knew that they were a couple. They were married. To the outside world, they looked so perfect. Even some of their friends came out saying how jealous of them they were because they had the perfect marriage, the perfect family, the perfect social media. They literally portrayed themselves to be this perfect all around couple and family. They even dressed the kids alike. They would take so many pictures where the kids were smiling so big, matching outfits, the whole nine. When you think of a perfect family, the perfect social media pictures, this was that family. So Sarah and Jennifer in 2004, basically it's said to be their first foster child. They fostered their first child, who was 15 years old at the time. She is now a adult. But at the time she was 15. Her name is Lee. They told a few friends how Lee would eat out of trash cans and things like that. And then one day they were taking Lee to a therapy appointment. They dropped her off and basically left her. They didn't come back and get her. She didn't realize it. They never told her that, they wouldn't be back to get her. The therapist had to literally tell her, like, hey, this is where, you're going to a new foster family. So that's when she learned that. In 2006, Jennifer and Sarah went on to adopt three siblings. They adopted 7-year-old Marquise, 4-year-old Hannah, and 2-year-old Abigail. They also went on to adopt three more siblings who were Sierra, Devontae, and Jeremiah. And the interesting thing about these siblings that they adopted was the mom lost them because she had a substance abuse problem. So she lost them to the system. The dad actually wanted them. He wanted full custody of the children, but for some reason, he wasn't granted full custody, and so the aunt agreed to get the children. She really, really wanted the children so bad. She even went as far as selling her 3-bedroom home to get a 5-bedroom so everyone can be comfortable in the home. And she had the children for a little while until one day a CPS worker just showed up at a random time, and the biological mom was there watching them, and she was not supposed to be supervising them or watching them without any supervision. So that right there took the kids away from the aunt and put them back into the system. Well, the children landed in the Hart family. So now you have Jennifer, Sarah, and the 6 Hart children. The first incident that happened was with Hannah. She went to school with bruising all over her body, which was clearly visible even with her clothes on. When the teachers questioned her and asked her what happened, she basically told them that her mom basically whooped her. And they called CPS. CPS got involved. When they questioned Jennifer and Sarah, they're like, "Oh no, she don't know what she's talking about. She fell down some stairs and she don't remember." And one thing led to another, and the baby basically stayed in their care. 2 months after the incident, they packed up and moved. So they located into a new area, and then here comes another situation where Abigail, this was in 2010, Abigail went to school with bruising on her, and when she was questioned about her owies, she told the teachers that her mom basically choked her and held her head underwater because she had a penny in her pocket, and they assumed she stole it. Now that boils my blood so much, because how can you harm this 6 year old baby? At the time she was only 6,
That's crazy.
and you're literally choking her and holding her head underwater because you assume she stole a penny.
That is crazy. I want to know. I want to know what motivated the Hart family to adopt these children
In the first place.
with no intent on doing right by them.
Right.
Like, why would you adopt after the first incident?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What made them go on and adopt more children,
Right.
knowing the things that they were going to do to these children?
Because I feel like you knew, from the first 3. The crazy part about it is, you guys, they actually, after they adopted the first 3, they went on social media and made a post. And I want to read you guys this post. And it says, and I quote, Jen drastically described her first night as a mother of 3. She said Abigail urinated everywhere and gashed her chin falling down the stairs. Hannah smeared feces on the wall and gorged herself with food until she needed to Heimlich, resulting in episodes of projectile vomiting. And then Marquise, she said, hit his head on the closet wall and in multiple voices claimed to be possessed by demons. Yet she and Sarah were committed to healing these kids over time. And this is the part that gets me. She went on to say, if not us, then who? That alone is like, why would you post this
on social media?
The first night you had these babies. Of course, at 7, 4, and 2, they're scared. The 2-year-old, I can see her urinating on herself. She's scared. She's in a new place. She's a baby. You know what I mean? Like, now, so I don't believe that banging on the head, on the wall, saying he's possessed. I feel like they
fabricated
a lot of stuff for attention. But why would you embarrass these babies who you so-called love on social media? That alone just boils my blood. Well, the children, it was just downhill. I honestly feel like the system failed these babies over and over and over again, because there were multiple allegations, to the point where the teachers no longer wanted to call CPS because nothing was happening, nothing was getting done, and they still had to send these babies back to them. So, and they noticed, once anything like that went on and they sent them back to them, that things would get worse. So the teachers even stopped calling CPS. The children were said to always go to school hungry. They were asked, different kids for food, to the point where other kids were bringing food for them to school. They were said to be seen taking food out of the trash can. All 6 of these babies were underweight and under their height chart. Like,
that was all being treated the same.
All of them, all 6. Now, I understand, some children, they grow differently or whatever, but to have all 6 of these children underweight and under their height, like, that blows my mind. Like, that blows my mind. And for you to have 2 sets of siblings, they don't have the same genetic makeup. I think it was like 4 different genetic, makeups in them. But for all of them to be underweight and all of them to be, under their height, that's not okay. They did have to take them to a mandatory doctor's appointment where they said that, hey, they are underweight. And Sarah and Jennifer just said, okay, they just don't gain weight like that. They made an excuse for everything, you guys. literally everything. On one particular night, one of the siblings jumped from a their two-story home onto the roof and onto the ground. They ran to the neighbor's house and literally banged on the door. It was like 2 in the morning, and she was like 13 or 14. She banged on the door and begged them not to tell Sarah or Jennifer that she was there. She begged them for help, and the dad or the man of the house that she ran to didn't want to get involved. So the mom or the lady of the house wasn't gonna say anything, but the husband felt he didn't want to get in it, so he ended up telling them that she was there. Later on, four of the other children went to the house, to basically tell them everything was fine, they were okay. And so 3 days later, the dad of the wife ended up calling 911 and basically telling them that his daughter was telling him what went on, how his son-in-law didn't want to get involved, but he couldn't let it go on. It wasn't sitting right with him, so he wanted to report it. It was said that the baby was so underweight. The neighbors seen the kids always in a straight line, always in the house. When they did come out, they did notice how small they were. Um, the father also stated on the 911 call how a little boy would come to his son-in-law and daughter's house for food. And it started off with being like a few tortillas, but then it went on to be like a box of food. And it wasn't things like Snickers or, snack cakes or anything like that. He wanted something that would be substantial. So he wanted like peanut butter. He wanted, canned goods and different things like that, because it was said when they got into it, or when they got in trouble, not into it, when they got in trouble, Sarah and Jennifer would make them sleep in the bed and wouldn't feed them. One night she ended up ordering pizza, but she literally gave them like a tiny slice of pizza. And when she woke up the next morning, the pizza was all gone. She got so angry with these kids that she made them sleep in the bed for 5 hours, and wouldn't feed them breakfast or anything. So, y'all, it's so
That's
sad.
crazy.
This is such a sad story, because you seeing these babies on social media and they have all these smiles. Even Devontae was at a protest after Mike Brown got killed, hugging a police officer, crying. He was literally crying. And the picture went viral. I'm sure you guys probably seen the picture. It went viral, and looking at the picture, you would think that the baby was so overcome with emotion because he was at the protest. But me looking at the picture, the baby was crying out for help. Like, you're holding, this officer, you already know what's going on. There's so much, going on in your world at home, and then so much is going on in the world outside of your home. Like, which way do you go? So it's just looking at that picture is so sad. Um, so a 911 call came in March 2018. A 911 came in. A few travelers noticed a Go GMC down a cliff, and they called it in. And it was Sarah and Jennifer, were located in the car, deceased. One was behind the wheel. The other was basically lodged between a seat and a door. They found three of the children in the car, deceased. They couldn't find the other ones. They were looking for them. One of them they did find in the water, deceased. The other one they didn't find until a shoe washed on shore with a foot still in it. They tested it and they found out that it was one of the babies. And also, they never found Devontae's body, so they still don't know where he is. They did the community and their friends were trying to portray that it was an accident. This couldn't have happened. They couldn't have drove. It had to be an accident. That's what they were saying. Social media had to be an accident. But evidence basically found that the car was going 90 miles per hour. It was accelerating. So they know for sure that they drove off the cliff. They looked, at their browser, their search history, and they were searching how if 500 milligrams of Benadryl was enough to kill someone, kill an adult. Um, when they searched the house, they found like 11 wine bottles, so many wine bottles, and neither one of them drunk. So um, they did find a large amount of alcohol in their system. And so they literally, basically, this was like a family suicide. Like, they drove themselves off the cliff. And, yeah, it's so sad, you guys. Like, watching this and hearing about this and researching this family, it's just super sad because those babies did not deserve that.
No.
Those babies did not deserve that. And I mean, if anything, if you feel like, you can't take care of these babies, give them back. Give them back and let, the system find them a better family, better suitable. And I understand, they try to keep siblings together, and a lot of people aren't adopting, 13, 14, 15-year-old children. But yeah, it's just so sad. I would rather them give them back so they can find, someone who can love them and raise them instead of them, basically being killed. So yeah, they drove the car off a cliff into the ocean in California, and they were found by travelers. His story is super, super sad. Like, my heart is so heavy right now because I couldn't imagine, that family, those babies didn't deserve that. Their families didn't deserve that. And just to know that they had people out here that really loved them and really wanted them. I just hope they knew that. And I hate that had to happen to those babies. My heart is just so heavy.
My thing is, I don't understand how the system would allow this family that adopted a girl, took her to a therapy appointment, and left her and never came back and got her to re-adopt.
I don't believe they adopted the first one. They was just fostering her.
Gotcha.
So when they dropped her off,
gotcha.
But yeah, it's just super sad. And the crazy part is the system failed them, but they would pack up and move every time. CPS got involved. They would withdraw the babies from that school, and they would move. And I feel like it should be guidelines and regulations to that. I feel like if CPS becomes, involved in whatever you're doing, you should not be able to pack up and move like that. Like, I understand, things happen. You might get a new job, or you might already be relocating, but there should be guidelines to that because
the case should travel with them. Because definitely. At the end of the day,
I feel like the case should definitely
is involved. I just feel like you packing up and moving doesn't solve the problem of these kids being in danger.
It doesn't. But one thing I know for sure, 9 times out of 10, once you cross, over into another state, there's different, jurisdictions and different guidelines and stuff that the next state has to go by. So if you're not, in their state, what can they do? And I feel like that's something that they knew. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to you guys. It's super, super heavy and super saddening that these babies had to, go out of here like that. Oh, I just hate that so much. If you guys have any cases or any true crimes that you would like for us to cover, please leave them down below in the comment section, and we will definitely get them up for you guys. We want to thank you guys for continuously coming back to our true crime series. We love you guys, and we will definitely see y'all in the next one. Peace.